Hello everyone, welcome back to Pixel Village and I'm Radha Krishnan. Well, the shoppers, Indian shoppers all across the globe have a mantra whenever they go to shop. Well, it's a generalized statement, so take it with a pinch of salt. The mantra is called Sasta, Sundar or Tikau. It basically translates into Sasta, which basically means cheap, which is not cheap, but cost effective. Sundar means, of course, beautiful, good, effective. And Tikau, meaning it should last long. So we've come across a product like that, which actually exceeds the expectation of a typical Indian buyer. It is cost effective, it is reasonably good looking, and it is likely to last long, and it's also, on top of it, is versatile too. And it suits this weather, like I said, perfectly well. I'm talking about SJCAM It's an action camera from SJCAM, of course, which does a whole lot of things. It's too many things bundled into one. Now, this, of course, is an action camera with a few additional features. Of course, this is not the only camera that has those kind of features, but at this price range, I think this probably will be the only one that is giving you that kind of features with an additional service and support facility in India. Okay, so let's dive straight into the features. This is an action camera which gives you 4K up to 60 FPS. And if you want gyro stabilized and electronically stabilized images, it happens together. You can get it up to 30 frames at 4K. Besides that, it will also give you other features, typical, video features like time-lapse, slow motion, full HD, etc. It also can shoot stills, of course, right from 10 megapixels to 2 megapixels. So you can shoot as per your usages. It also creates a local Wi-Fi network so that you can pair it with your mobile phones and instantly get into, a remote control kind of situation. The added benefit, according to me, besides all these expected standard features, which also includes waterproof, this can actually go underwater without any additional casing. So with all that, I mean, the most interesting feature, according to me, which also perfectly suits this weather, like I told you in the beginning, is live streaming capability. Which means this probably is the only device that you require, besides, of course, a mobile device like a mobile phone, to effectively produce a video content, live stream, and be in touch with the world. Well, let's look at the build quality. Of course, it doesn't have any pretensions of build to last kind of a feel. There are a couple of loose edges. It doesn't, open or close with great ease. You need to be very careful. And if you use excessive force, you can break things. So you need to handle it very carefully, but it is built reasonably well. It has a multi-function switch, which you can use it to switch on and also start taking pictures. And it has a very interesting, very simple, straightforward interface. So if you activate that, it'll kind of give you a touch sensitive rear backdrop, which has very well laid out, simple, intuitive menu. Depending on video or stills or slow motion or live streaming, just pick that function, set it, and you are ready to use. So the learning curve is not much. The battery is inside this compartment, and also the memory card also stays inside this, the battery compartment. And also, since you are likely to use it for action sports and likely to use it at 4K 60, etc., make sure that you buy a very good quality memory card, preferably an Extreme Pro. That's it. Very, very simple. Just pick it up and start using it. And the packaging was very, very similar action camera kind of, very familiar in the action camera world. This kind of packaging is very familiar. It came with, of course, a grip. You should not lose this, because this is very important, because this is the only mount that you will get in the entire packaging, so you should not lose it. And of course, this is the casing. So this, in case if you are using it along with a helmet or on a bike or a car, you will require this, of course. And of course, along with that came a couple of rotating mounts, okay, 2 of them. And of course, then you have regular adhesive base. This may not rotate at all, and an additional grip and 2 simple adhesive tapes. And this is all you will get in the box. No separate chargers. You need to charge it in the body itself, and it's got a 1300 mAh battery, which will last you for, in the extreme case, is about 45 minutes. And of course, if you are going out on a long ride, a trip, etc., make sure that you have additional battery. Well, of course, the box also came with a USB 3 type charging cable. Okay, you need to get a power adapter separately. Perfect. So that's what it is. A very simple, straightforward, I told you, Sasta, Sundar and Tikau action camera. Let's get out and take some videos and still images and see if we can also grab some time-lapse footages with this. Let's come back and then talk about it more. So I'm all set. I have the SJ9 Strike mounted on a Magic board. It's a very cheap, cost-effective equivalent to one of those Gorilla pods. I have paired it using the app onto my mobile phone, so I can frame it nicely and even trigger it. What I'm trying to do is first try out all various resolutions: 4K 60, 30, stabilized, without stabilization, 2K, Full HD, and some slow motion. I'm also going to record in-camera audio as well as an external audio. You can connect one using the USB. Well, when you do that, you need to remember to activate the external microphone. Let's get straight into an action. All right? All right, this is 4K 60 FPS. Now, obviously, there is no internal stabilization in this shot. The audio is coming from the external microphone. So now let's switch to the 4K 30 with internal stabilization. Okay, this is 4K 30 with internal stabilization. Well, this camera offers many different types of metering: center weighted, spot, and an average metering. And I am now working with average metering, and I've set to the maximum ISO limit to 400 ISO. And we are also trying the 4K 30, of course, with stabilization. But this time the audio is being recorded by the internal microphone. As you can see, there is a difference between the wired USB mic and the in-camera microphone. Okay, so we saw what this little guy can do, right? We vlogged, we did slow motions, we did steady shots, we even attempted a couple of underwater shots, we rode a bike. A camera under 20,000 Indian rupees is performing almost everything that it has been asked to do, including something which we have not seen so far, which is live streaming. So, well, we saw live streaming with mobile devices recently. We've been seeing it recently. But when you live stream with this camera, you have a 4K sensor. Okay, a 4K sensor which will help you stream to the required resolution. Usually, streaming resolution is limited to 1080. So this will allow you to do that, and that too using your mobile app. It's very simple. Straight away, go to your app, switch on the app, connect the camera, and of course, once you connect the camera, you can frame yourself well, and of course, go back, and to the top of your screen, you have the streaming option available. You can even publish a thumbnail. Okay, so let me, for fun, take a thumbnail. Select from the album. I'm going to take a shot of this guy here. Aditya, can you move a little out, please? Okay, and here I am. I'm going to just take a shot. Okay, now I got this guy as my thumbnail. Very nice. For whatever it is, what I'm going to keep a live description for the live streaming. You can stream live to Facebook, YouTube, or you can, create one of your custom platforms where you want to kind of go live stream. Select Facebook, whether you want to go into your timeline, your page, your group, select that, and you want me to authorize. It says authorizing. Once it is authorized, this SJCAM SJ9 Strike is ready to go live, and you can watch the live stream on your phone while you are using this camera remotely for live streaming, which is, I think, is a very, very interesting feature, an action cam. I'm not saying there are no other action cams which doesn't give you this option. They do, but at this price point, I think SJCAM is something which worth considering. All right, you saw what this camera can do, right? There are a whole lot of things that this camera does very well, but there are a couple of things which I thought I should also mention, which we don't particularly enjoy. One is that it constantly kept on losing its Wi-Fi network. Every time I stop and do something with my phone, the link would lose. And re-establishing would mean restarting the action cam and re-establishing the network. It can be a little irritating at times. The next thing is you must have a standby battery for sure, because you're asking this camera to do too many things. It has got a Wi-Fi running, it's got a gyroscope running, it is also shooting, images and videos, and you're constantly playing it back, and it's going to tax that 1300 mAh battery seriously. And if you get out without a proper power backup, you can be left high and dry. Another thing that I'd like to warn you is about the build quality. This is not exactly built to last, which means you need to take extra care while handling this camera. And especially because this camera is supposed to go underwater, well, you have to keep all those joints perfectly in place. So handle it with extreme care. Well, barring these three things, I think it's worth every penny that you're going to pay for this particular product. Well, I say pick it up if you like. I'll add a link to everything that we showed today in the description. I definitely say it's a product which worth trying, especially those people who cannot really afford a real high-end action camera or an expensive mobile phone. Well, we definitely would like to hear what you think about this camera. We are also extremely delighted to tell you that Pixel Viilage now has an online photography education website. Please head over to www.pixelviilage.com and see the kind of pre-recorded photography tutorial that are available there for you to subscribe for a small fee and watch. We also have an Android-based mobile app, so check that out too. Well, Pixel Viilage is slowly getting back to its usual pace, and we have lots of videos lined up for you. And the immediate ones are very, very interesting ones. But I'm not going to tell you which one is coming up next, but stay tuned. Bye for now.